One.
Hi guys, my name is Joe DiTore, and I spent 28 years as a Navy diving and salvage officer. I worked in engineering duty officer, and from there I retired at a U.S. Special Operations Command after almost 28 years of total service. And when I retired, I thought to myself, I got a great job offer. Hey man, we're going to leave you at SOCOM. You're going to do the same job. You can grow your hair long, and you can sit in the same office. I said, boss, I don't want to do that. That was Admiral McCraven at the time. I said, boss, I don't want to do that. I want to go do something not this. I don't care what it is, but it's got to be not this. And I stumbled around and I worked for government agencies for a little bit and did things with stuff and people, same background stuff, right? And then I came forward and I said, all right, I need to change. So adapt with the times. I went back, I got a PhD in biomedical engineering. And from that point, I started doing research to help our people. Admiral McCraven put me on the preservation of the force and family. So I started doing anti-suicide stuff, the veteran suicide, focusing on that. He's like, Joe, I'm getting my ass kicked by Congress. Sorry, am I allowed to say that?
Too late.
He said, Joe, I'm getting my butt kicked by Congress for 22 a day. What can we do? So we were trying to work on prevention methodologies, techniques, and, too many people wanted to talk about it. Well, long story short, I go get my PhD in biomedical engineering. I find the chemical makeup is changing, what we can do with hyperbarics, how that's working. So I started running down that road with scissors. And then, of all the things in the military that I got blown up a couple of times, wrong place, wrong time, whatever, hurt, loud bangs, concussions, whatever. I was driving my Chevy down the road here. I got T-boned in a collision. 9 o'clock in the morning, somebody was actually on their phone texting. They blew a light, ran right into me. I'm knocked out in the car, complete loss of consciousness, taken to the hospital, and I wake up in the hospital and it's like, oh my God, you have a traumatic brain injury. And I'm like, yeah, but I've had those before. This one was different. This one was really different. 8 mm hemorrhagic stroke, prefrontal cortex, left side. I am toast, So, and this happened September 7th of last year. So we are talking about 7 months now? So 7 months ago, 8 months ago, I had a severe traumatic brain injury. I was in the ICU for a couple of days. Okay, so fast forward, what are we doing? I did a whole bunch of things that hurt me. So don't run with scissors off trying to repair your own traumatic brain injury. Even when you're a traumatic brain injury researcher, it doesn't work. So I got a couple of people, got a couple of friends, pushed me in the right direction. And trust me, that was at the point where I was at my lowest. So I was sitting there going, if this is it for the rest of my life, this is not going to work, right? So I'm like, I had to do something. So thank God I had a whole bunch of friends circled around me and said, hey, look, we got to help and we're going to point you in the right direction. I got on this program. I started doing stuff that I already knew worked. Then I do some more stuff that worked. Then I did some more stuff that worked. And then we stumbled onto things like brain-derived neurotropic factor, real big word for lawn seed for the neurogenesis that's happening in your head. VEGF, HIF-1 alpha, all this new stuff, all these new technologies that were working. And we're getting them through hyperbarics, we're getting them through neurofeedback, we're getting them through all these combination of things. So what we found is that if you don't treat somebody from a physiological, psychological, and physical perspective simultaneously, you are doing them a disservice. So we developed right here an intensive outpatient protocol that we'll be doing and we have been doing right here. So we said, hey, how is this going to work? We don't know how it's going to work. It worked on you, but you're an N of 1, Joe. What now? I was like, well, and it has to be 28 days, by the way. Why 28 days? That's right. It's habitual, right? It's a habit. So your body relearns how to make BDNF, VEGF, HIF-1 alpha, all of these things that you need to start this, stimulate this process again. Your body knows how to do it. All of this stuff, everything that it does is basically just relearn your body on how to do the things that it already knew how to do, but it forgot, right? So we said, all right, we're going to bring a bunch of veterans in and we're going to try and fix them. So that's what we've been doing since then. Has to be a 28-day protocol. You are here 8 to 9 hours a day, every day. And you have a full-on list of stuff that you're doing, from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. Neurofeedback therapy, where we put electrodes on your brain and we are checking and up training your alpha, down training your theta, whichever, your beta, your low beta. So we're basically fixing your brain waves to conform to a more normative database, right? So the stuff that's high and out of range, we tune it down. The stuff that's low, we tune it up. So with that, we're doing hyperbaric oxygen therapy, which reduces lipid peroxidation, it reduces swelling, it decreases pain. I mean, all of this stuff. We have a physical therapist that comes in. So it's not just me. I don't want anybody to think that this is just my program. We have a physical therapist that comes in that is amazing. She's a complete healer. We have a SET therapist. SET is this, it's an energy therapy that basically massages the occipital lobe. So the occipital lobe is behind the brain like this. And once you increase that pumping, you can decrease the flow of cerebrospinal fluid from about 11 hours to about 2 hours with this therapy, which increases cerebral blood flow. So cerebrospinal fluid is really important to cerebral blood flow. So once those things are all connected together, we do cognitive behavioral therapy. Not me, that's not my area, but we have a great gal who's a military veteran, who's a doctor, who helps people, and she's a trauma therapist. That combined with all the other, we have these brain taps, which are great. It's my version, Joe's broken down version of it is it's meditation for people that just can't meditate. So this thing will kind of cone you in and laser focus you to where you want to go and what you want to do. We also have a life coach that's here. A life coach is an MD. He's a straight MD ER doc who's like, all right, Western medicine's not doing it for me. Eastern medicine isn't it. I'm going to marry the two, and I'm going to point people in the right direction. It's about increasing your workout, improving your this, fixing you, giving you focus, giving you a basically a goal to reach towards, right? So it's a whole bunch of theories together, including brain games, which you just play on your computer. You know, we buy the subscription for you, but it's neuroplasticity. So it's all about connecting those superhighways in your head, getting energy and light to the dark spots that are in your brain, healing the body at the same time, and then basically healing and working on your soul. So that's what we're doing here. We hope you can come and take a look at us. If you know anybody that's suffering from PTSD and TBI, we're looking to help people, man, and that's what we do here.
So I so very often throughout the week get calls and messages from veterans that are really, really struggling, and they're in Oklahoma or California or New York. How would they be able to participate in this program? What is the prerequisite, and what do they have to do to get here?
Okay, so one of two things. Number one, if there's a hyperbaric center near them, I will call that hyperbaric doc and tell them, here's the protocol that we're doing. This is not my protocol. I don't want to save it, keep it, patent it, nothing. I want to go, here it is, give it to God, Jesus, all the disciples, and all the apostles, right? So that everybody can run out in the world and go do this. So that's one way. Now, if you can get here, here's the problem with living in Tampa. I mean, we're in downtown Tampa, as you well know, because you pulled your RV.
We're going to talk about that.
we are downtown, so we're, 4-lane road goes right by our office. So it's pretty tight. But so you got to stay. You got the Holiday Inn Express over there. You got the Marriott there. You got the the Hilton's behind us. So it's really kind of tight, and that's the biggest problem is places to stay. So we're working on that, and we're working with all the local charities. But it is a 28-day commitment to yourself, guys and gals. You gave up all of this for your country for either 4 years or 20 plus years. When's the last time you did something for you? And you should take time for you. And I wish I could turn this camera around and talk to you. When's the last time you did something for you, Missy? Because you need to take care of you, because you're the base of all this. You are, and if you stumble, we're all gonna fall. So we need you on your game, baby.
I'll jump in the camera and say hi. You can see right there. So Larry Roberts, my veteran friend, told me about Dr. Joe, and we're still on tour, and on our way back home, I met Dr. Joe. He sees I'm exhausted, and he's invited me to come back. And so we wanted to get here early this morning, so late last night we pulled into his parking lot. I'm actually going to do a video because he said, come on, I'll get you in here, but wait till you see where we actually park. We would never do this.
If it were, we'll make sure to get you out. Don't worry about it, I promise.
Okay, and I just want to ask you to talk to them a little bit, because I now have Brain Tap in the RV with me. And if you could talk a little bit about that the brain tap and what it actually does. It'll help me tell people exactly what it is.
So this is good stuff, and what it does is it uses two different methodologies. It's basically a little laser light that will focus your vision and stop you from looking all over the place. Because even when your eyes are closed, you can move your eyes left and right. And when you do that, you influence or change the brain waves for these two nodes specifically. Now, we're not doing EEGs, but that's something that we know happens. When I look up and down and left and right, I'm changing the brain waves here. So what we're trying to do is have you chill out. So the one thing it does is it has the LED lights. Your eyes are closed, but you can still see the LED lights flashing, okay? Second thing it does is auditory stimulation. So there's a person in here that talks, and there's some nice soft music in the background. But there's also two different frequencies. There are two different voices that are playing simultaneously. You don't have the capacity to listen. So it's more like subliminal messaging that goes along with this. So for me, like I said, this is meditation for people that just can't meditate, that you just can't sit still. This will chill you out. And you know, we've done coherent stuff on the EEG after you come out of the brain tap, and you're just like, you're like, you feel, and you've done it, so
Yeah,
you're like, you feel
love it.
honed, you're guided, you're like, okay, I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing. So this is great stuff. And if anybody wants to get a hold of these, I think they're $650 a piece. They're I mean, it's not a whole ton of money. I'm not trying to say that it's nothing, but it's $650 a piece, and it comes with the BrainTap software. And there's like, I still haven't gone across another one that I have listened to already.
So, how do you think it can be instrumental as I'm meeting with veterans and first responders and their families, putting it right on them when I'm anywhere in the country? They can just try it, right?
Absolutely. So this is like a real quick chill pill. I don't know how else to say it, but it's not a pill, and that's why I love it. It's a sit down, take a moment for yourself, do this deep breath, and it guides you through the breathing portion of it. And then, you know, they're talking to you about setting goals, making goals, achieving goals. Goals has to be measurable, achievable, realistic, you know. So it's the type of thing that if you just want to take anywhere between 16 and 30 minutes for each one session, and it just takes you down. Like I said, it brings you, gets you, stop being hopped up on catnip and in the present situation, and brings you back to the present moment. Okay. So yeah, your ability to do this on the road, you're exponentially helping people. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, if you could just give a message to those that are watching this, because I've been dealing with a lot of veterans in crisis lately. A message to them on what they need to do, and then also how to contact you.
Okay. All right. So, look, I am you, and I mean that. I'm literally you. I spent 28 years. I joined the Navy when I was 17. I have to live until I'm like 57 and a half to have spent half my life out of the military and half my life in the military. So that's a long time when you start to figure that. And people ask me why I am the way I am. So I had dark moments. I have dark moments still. Keep going. Keep going. Head up, look up, keep going. Don't let anybody in the outside world tune what's going on in the inside world here. Because somebody gives you a compliment, that's not about you. Somebody gives you a derogatory response or a negative or curses you out, that's not about you either. So just realize you have control over this space here. So don't give that control up, man. So,
Awesome.
keep pushing.
How do they contact you if they want to know more about the 28-day program?
So I'm drdeepsea.com, DRDEEPSEA.com. Like my Twitter, my Instagram, and my some other social media. I can't remember it right now.
Facebook,
Facebook. It's either Joe Dituri, DITURI, or Dr. Deep Sea. At Dr. Deep Sea, I think, is the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But I don't know. All that kid stuff. So, but we would love to try and help you in any way, shape, or form. Even if you are in Muskogee, Oklahoma, pick up the phone, call me, and I'll call a hyperbaric center there and we'll talk. Or I'll try and push you to a doctor that I know or a person that I know in that area. The other thing we do is we train hyperbaric technicians and physicians here. So they're spread throughout the United States and even the world. So, if you need a person in another country, let me know. We'll point you in the right direction, all right?
Dr. Joe, this is the most amazing interview. I am extremely honored that you invited us to come and share what you do and who you are. You have inspired me, and self-care. I know I need to have self-care. The helpers need to help themselves sometimes, and I just want you to know, Randy and I truly appreciate you, and we're going to come back, and I'm going to spend a week here for myself.
We love you guys. We hope you do that.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.